How you can collect the information. There is stuff like Shodan, maybe you've seen it, and we can put like google.com. So what can we see? We can see a big amount of different hosts, or maybe let's put some other company, random.com, maybe better, right? Much better. So random.com, we can navigate to Shodan, and inside Shodan we can see that this website was already analyzed. So what is Shodan? There are like 5 services like this, like Shodan, ZoomEye, Censys, and you should know all those websites when you are doing the penetration testing or vulnerability assessment, or you're owning the company, which can end up here. So this website is using completely legal methods. It is just scanning the full internet. All day long, it is scanning the full internet, and when it will find your website, it will just say like myjrandom.com, for example, and it will try to put it here. It will analyze your SSL certificate. So in SSL certificate, by the way, you can find subdomains. So potentially, if you are creating some subdomain which you like called hidden dot like random.com, you can accidentally put it in the SSL certificate and people can find it. So for subdomains, we'll have like a separate talk. And here we can see on the port 80, we have Nginx, and on port 443, we also have Nginx, and port 80 is redirecting to port 443, and here is the SSL certificate. So the Nginx is the service system which was created in ex-employee of Rambler around 15 years ago, when guy working in Rambler, in Russian company Rambler.ru. So he worked there and he was seeing big amount of traffic is going on the Apache server. And those Apache server and IIS servers, they were not able to handle big amount of traffic. So that guy, he created the Nginx, which will allow you to get a big amount of traffic and to not go down. So Nginx is just a proxy, we can say a local proxy, which is balancing the traffic. And SSL certificate is the certificate which you can create yourself or which you can buy and insert into your HTTP website, and it will basically become HTTPS. So HTTP is not protected protocol. HTTP is the protocol which is using the clear text. So if, for example, you will be accessing the website which I deployed on HTTP, and we will be in the same network with you, I will see your traffic and I will see all your sessions. But with HTTPS, the traffic is encrypted with those keys, public keys. So a hacker cannot see what is going on. For FTP, there is FTPS. For SSH, it's already has the key, basically. For RDP, it also has the keys. So nowadays, you can just get a SSL certificate for free. You can generate your own, or you can go to Cloudflare and you will be able to get it. So yesterday, I was deploying SSL certificate, which took me like 5 minutes. So now it's not a big problem. So what we can see here, port 25, port 80, port 443. In port 25, we can see that there is eSMTP server, which means that it is potentially interesting attack vector. So what you need to do, you need to go, for example, here and find SMTP and read about that SMTP, like more information, and you can try to hack it. So based on the protocols, this one, you see 25. So that protocol is saying hello, help, quit, aus, reset, and you can use software which is called telnet to communicate. Here we can clearly see that those guys are using telnet. So what they're doing, they're scanning internet after they're using like telnet, for example, to connect and grab the banner. So this, what I'm showing you now, is just a basic recon. You can do it yourself manually, or you can use the third-party services. Also, obviously, a part of recon is whois. For example, what is whois? This is super basic information block. Nice. So what can we see here? We can see here the phone of the guy, and we can collect here the information of the location of that specific person who registered that specific domain. So why do we need to collect all this information? We need to collect all information. Before we are starting to attack the system, we can find basically attack surface. So attack surface is part of that stuff. A little bit later, I will show you how all that stuff is automized. And I will also show you how you can do it like more automatically. Now I just showed you like few examples of how you can use the websites. For example, ZoomEye is also interesting stuff. We can access it. It is Chinese, random.com. So they want you to get a subscription, but the idea here, this is the same. This is the same as Shodan. Sometimes you can get here more information, sometimes you can get here less information. And here it is also detected the technologies. So now we can clearly understand that this website is located in US. It is running Linux operating system. It is hosted in Amazon, and it is running Nginx, and in the backend, it is Express.js. So a server. For each hosting, for each type of, I don't know, port protocol, you have a specific methodology on how to hack it. So here is an example of how you're doing the Amazon internal test. So it's not, this one is basically on how you can audit the Amazon if this is yours. So if you don't want to get hacked, you just generate the key inside the Amazon. You just go to Amazon key. No, this one. API key, not that key. So you just go to Amazon and you generate the API key. And based on that API key, you just put it here. So when you bought hosting, they provide you ability to interact with that hosting using API key. When you bought that hosting, you can get that key and it would it here. So this software is called Scout Cloud, for example. It is free software. So what it is doing, it is connecting to that specific, it is connecting to your hosting, and it will analyze all the services which you have there. How it is working? It has the templates, and based on those templates, it is checking if you're matching that pattern or not. If you have the hosting of pictures which is allowed to be seen by everyone, for example, this is different from if you are storing the passport data. And if you open like that specific service, which is called S3 bucket, to everyone, it means that somebody will download those passports, definitely within like 5 minutes. So from your side, you need to audit your cloud from behind. And there are some automations around the stuff. For AWS, they have like attack vectors. And AWS vectors research, AWS attack checks. So this is list of the most vulnerable services which you can buy. Amazon has like maybe 50 different services. Some of them are potentially dangerous. So if you will open the database externally, somebody can connect it. If you will open your file hosting externally, somebody can connect to it. Or if you put the like no password, or if you put a weak password. So there are list of specific services on the hosting itself, which you need to focus on. Meaning of check is that you see this is list of services. So this is list of services, and you can go here. I'll just show you. I think it's here, AWS rules, rule sets, conditions. So for example, this is check. So this check is checking if your service is exposed to the internet or not. If it's exposed to the internet, it will say, look, it looks like potentially all your services are deployed to the internet. Is this what you wanted, or you didn't even know this? So I had like a big amount of examples where developers are sharing with me some production information, and they're saying like, look, we deployed to production, all good. And I'm like scanning externally, and I'm saying like, look, man, you have like 20 ports open. What is going on? Everything is open, your database, everything. And he's saying, how? I don't know. I just deployed it, and I didn't expect that it will be exposed. So sometimes developers don't know that it will be exposed. So there are like checks internal and external. So you should understand penetration testers, they're doing external check. So here I just showed you an example of internal check, but we are discussing external stuff. So this is example of checks. This is just a checklist